Good morning, Dan. It's Friday, October 24th. I guess I initially wanted to ask you about your politics and which way you're thinking about voting, not so much because I wanted to sway your vote one way or another, but to sort of get in touch and find out where you were. But things have changed, because I've realized that you don't quite know where you are, and so that it kind of becomes my responsibility to sway where you're at. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm certainly going to give it a shot. Let's start on the left, shall we? Senator Joe Biden. One of his biggest claims to fame is half the time that he opens his mouth, it's to take one foot out and stick the other one back in. But the man knows everybody. He knows like every single foreign leader out there. He's met with them and like had tea or baked him a cake or something. Everyone that says, well, Barack Obama doesn't have anything on foreign policy, well, he's got Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's going to be there and talking with him and advising him. And if you want to get into the whole experience thing, I mean, Joe Biden's been a senator since, well, you know, the dawn of time. Barack Obama. Well-spoken, eloquent. But everyone says that as though it's a bad thing. But frankly, don't we want someone who's smart and noble and elite and presents themselves well and puts on a good face for the rest of the country? I think that sounds kind of good. He wants to have universal health care. What he means by that is if you're working for a business that already gives you a health care plan, you get to keep it. But if you're someone like me who doesn't have health care right now, I can go out and get it at a very reasonable cost. He wants to do away with the last 8 years of economic planning and tax breaks for the wealthiest people in our country. It's something like you can break it down into 5% of the people are really, really wealthy and 95% of the people are not. And since 95% of those people are where most of that money is coming from currently, it doesn't quite make sense. So he kind of wants to flip that up on its head. So if you're making over $250,000 a year, then yeah, he's going to raise your taxes some. But if you're making less than that, you're really not going to see any taxes go up. He's also been against the war in Iraq since the very beginning, and he wants to get people out of there. He wants to set up an exit strategy and have them removed. Something that you're not quite hearing from the McCain campaign. On the right, we've got the inexperienced Sarah Palin. And what's fantastic is that the McCain campaign had this wonderful argument that Obama wasn't experienced and didn't have leadership potential, and then they went and picked Sarah Palin. Now, as much as Senator Joe Biden opens his mouth and inserts his foot, Palin just seems to completely miss and just kick herself in the face. She did an interview with hard-hitting Katie Couric, and she came across looking like a total idiot. She was asked the question, what newspapers and magazines do you read to keep up on world affairs? And, well, everything. What? Name a newspaper, a magazine, anything. Well, I read everything. Oh, well... that makes sense. Let's see, other things you're going to want to know about Sarah Palin. Let's see, while in office there was this big scandal about a bridge to nowhere, which right now she's saying, oh, I was totally against that from the beginning. But the facts came out that no, she wasn't. In fact, she was lobbying to get that bridge until everyone decided it was a bad idea, and then suddenly she was against it. By the way, Sarah Palin's foreign policy experience comes from the fact that she can see Russia from Alaska. Oh, another scandal. While she was in office, she tried to get a librarian fired. And I say try to get fired because the whole story goes a little something like this. She brought the librarian in front of her and said, what would I have to do to get books banned? She wants to ban some books. And the librarian was like, all of our books go through all the proper channels and procedures. There should be no reason to get any of them banned. But the next thing that happens is that librarian who stood up to her got fired. Now, the reason I say that she only tried to get her fired is because then there was general uproar from the community, and so they had to rehire her. But, you know, when I think of a politician who wants to try book banning, next thing I think is book burning. And I'm like, well, maybe that's not quite it. I mean, it's not like she's the kind of person who, that if a woman got raped, would make her pay for her rape kit at the hospital. Oh, wait, yes. Yes, she did. Let's see, John McCain. What are some of the quotes of his that I've always loved? You hear that one where President Bush said that we might be in Iraq for another 50 years? And John McCain was like, why not make it 100? Then he tried out a little bit of his karaoke skills with bomb, 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 Iran. And as much as he's trying to distance himself from the Bush years and saying, I'm not with him, I'm a maverick, I don't vote with him, he has. Something like 95% of the time he's voted with him, except in like the last 4 to 6 years where it's been 100% of the time. You know this big economic crunch thing that we're going through and everyone is freaking out and trying to figure out, well, who's at fault and how did this happen? And there's a chance that John McCain might be involved in the deregulation of the banks, and that's part of what happened to all of this. Well, there's also a quote that before the economic meltdown happened right now, John McCain was so happy with his work in the banks that he said that he wanted to do to the healthcare system the same kind of deregulation that he had done there. Because we all can see how that's working out for us. Drill here, drill now. You know, we've got this whole, like, oil crisis and energy crisis, and John McCain says, well, let's solve this. Let's drill here, drill now, get the oil that we have, and solve everybody's problems. Except the professionals say that if we drill here and drill now, it's still going to take about 10 years for that to affect the cost of oil. It makes almost as much sense as Barack Obama's plan to inflate your tires. Wait, what's that plan about inflating tires? Oh, you know, Barack Obama just said engineers and car professionals and NASCAR recommends that if you keep your tires inflated properly, we cut fuel consumption by like 3 to 4%. Strangely, the McCain campaign completely mocked this. We're like, that's an idiot idea. Why would we ever try that? Oh, wait, maybe we should try that. I cannot go through another 4 to 8 years of this same political crap that isn't actually helping people. Alright, so this is enough ranting for today, and I hope some of this helps you make up your mind, and if it doesn't, then you can just tell me to stop, because really, I don't want to turn this into a big political thing, I'm just passionate. So, have yourself a good weekend, and I will hear from you on Monday.